Nashville, okay. Before we get into the Ducks next season, I'm going to stick with my pick. I feel like it's going to be Winnipeg out of the West and Boston out of the East, and I feel like Winnipeg ends up taking it probably in about six games. I feel like I just, again, I'm not, I don't want to turn this into a Jets podcast, but I feel like they're just such a complete team, and they're a handful to deal with. I mean, credit to Minnesota for stealing a game at home and just thumping them 6-2, but I think that was a one-off for the Jets, and they're going to be a scary team to deal with. But let's get back to the Ducks. What are your expectations for this team next season, with everybody healthy, assuming everybody's ready to go at the start of next year?
A lot of the same.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get the division spot, and they're going to make the playoffs, but they're not going to go deep if you're looking at the roster as it sits right now.
Yeah,
that's what I get. That's what I get out of it. You're not going to see a lot change. It was fun to talk about the Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaf situation. It's always great to speculate, but with full no-move clauses and gigantic salaries, we all know that that's very, very slim chance of moving.
Yeah.
Unless the Ducks are willing to really just move everything possible out of the way to make that happen. So, yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of the same. Even if everyone's healthy, you're looking at guys who are a year older. Mm. And with a roster that just has been super inconsistent when they are healthy, which after Christmas, this roster was pretty healthy. They went on a short bit of a run, but, I mean, we saw the third-line offense dry up with the Henrique line. They weren't able to produce as much as they were when they got streaky and then kind of died off. And then we saw the Kessler line never really regain their potency from last year, which I know is kind of unfair to judge, but, I mean, all those guys are a year older too. I hate to say be ready for disappointment come the playoffs, but, I mean, just don't have super high expectations. If you're looking at the same roster, they're not going to win a cup.
No, and I mean, we don't know what they're going to do in the offseason. We don't know who's going to be gone and who's going to come in. But if we're just making assumptions that they're going to come in with pretty much the same lineup and have the kids on the bottom pairing and then have Patrick Eaves back and everybody healthy to start the season, I think you're right. It's going to be pretty much the same. Because if we look at the Pacific Division and we break down, I mean, we can do this real quick, and we break down teams who we think they're better than. So if we start at the top of the end, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think they're better than Vegas, especially if Vegas ends up going out and getting Erik Karlsson or anybody of that nature. And it's something I didn't expect to be saying at the beginning of the year, especially now that the Vegas Golden Knights are a better team than pretty much everybody in the Pacific Division, but they are. I mean, you have to say that Vegas is better than the Ducks, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to. I don't know what kind of argument you're gonna have otherwise.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, and then you've got San Jose, which if they bring back Evander Kane, they'll have a full season of Joe Thornton. Any acquisitions they make, or even if they don't, I feel like they're probably a better team still than the Ducks, and they've shown that. I think it's close, but if they can get an actual good season from Martin Jones and not tank in the last month of the season, they would have coasted to second in the division. I feel like they're still a better team than the Ducks, even with the Ducks fully healthy. So then you have Anaheim fighting for that last spot with a team that's also on the trend downwards in the LA Kings. You've got them fighting with possibly the Edmonton Oilers if they can rebound and have somewhat of a season to support Connor McDavid next year. But they could. I mean, they're a team, again, they're a team that you still worry about them because of Connor McDavid, right? If they can piece any bit of some kind of offense or defense or goaltending around him, he can easily win them games. So they're going to be fighting with Edmonton. They're going to be fighting with LA. I honestly think they're going to be fighting with Calgary because I feel like Calgary is a better team than what happened. They'll have a new coach in Calgary. They'll hopefully have some type of goaltending there. So that's a team you're going to be fighting with. And I think the big surprise, too, is maybe Arizona. Maybe they finally figure some things out down there. They've got a lot of young kids coming up. They're going to be going into their second seasons. Antti Raanta signed a contract extension there. They're a team that I think is going to surprise some people. So you've got the Ducks essentially fighting with 4 teams to get into the playoffs next year. It's going to be another battle, I feel like. I don't think they're going to be much better than they were this year. I think there could be some struggles with especially a lot of those teams in the Pacific Division getting better. And, the Ducks are going to benefit, of course, from having maybe a lot healthier Ryan Kessler. I think we both believe he's not going to be back to his old self. You're going to have Patrick Eaves, but again, we don't really know what kind of Patrick Eaves we're going to get. I mean, we already had that question going into the season before even knowing about his illness, if we're going to get the same type of Patrick Eaves, because that was a career best season for him. So that could come into play, especially with maybe his fitness because of the illness. And then you have suspect on the blue line as well. If somebody goes out injured, we're experiencing the same problems we are right now. So it'll be an interesting season to say the least. And who knows if John Gibson is going to have this type of season again? You know what I mean? He had a Vezina quality season, which he should have got nominated, but he didn't. And you never know if he's going to be consistent enough to keep this up next year.
Well, I have a hard time believing that Edmonton's going to turn around and put up another 20 points this season. Same thing with Vancouver. They're not going anywhere, or Arizona. Those three teams I have a hard time seeing making any major strides. I mean, that Edmonton team has ran Cam Talbot into the ground. Adam Larson obviously was not the player they expected when trading away a player like Taylor Hall, which is probably one of the dumbest moves that Edmonton has made, which is saying something because Taylor Hall is just tearing it up in New Jersey. Yeah. I really feel like Calgary could make that next step. And LA, I mean, they need scoring. It's kind of like what Anaheim has. They need scoring in Anaheim. They need depth scoring to kind of boost up that offense. They both scored around the same amount of goals, and they both had low goals against because they had great goaltending this year. So depth scoring, I think we should look to add for both. I mean, look for both those teams to add, and they were both hot on that trail to do that at the trade deadline. But yeah, I think we're going to see the same team, unfortunately. Maybe a little worse. Same team, though.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to get to it because we're getting kind of long here, and I don't want to talk about it too long, but you want to quickly talk about John Gibson getting a bit of a snub for the Vezina?
I'll make it quick. It's BS. My buddy Jay, who I do the Puck Guys with, he disagrees. He felt like Gibby was top 5. Our friend of the show, Hannah, you know who Hannah is. She said the same thing. She felt that Gibson was top 5, not top 3. I have a hard time agreeing with that. I feel like Gibby could have easily taken over Vasilevsky, and that would have been the person that I would have pulled out to put Gibson in the nominations.
Yeah, and we had Paul Campbell on the show before where he thought it was Rene, Gibson, and Bobrovsky, and I honestly have to agree with him, and I saw a lot of people putting the same things out there. I feel like Hellebuyck has a case because I feel like he had a pretty good season, especially with Winnipeg and what he did, but I feel like Vasilevsky's on there because of the beginning part of his season. I mean, he was mediocre at best for the second half of the season with Tampa Bay, and he really relied on the fact that that team was just so good that he was still able to pick up wins. He had some very bad starts, especially late on, and I feel like he benefited from that early success and the fact that he was a favorite at the midpoint to get him into a nomination this year. I honestly feel like Gibson for sure was a guy who got snubbed. Bobrovsky again is another guy who got snubbed. So if I had a pick, which of course I don't, but I would have had Rene winning it with Gibson and Bobrovsky right behind him.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be upset with that one.
And now, last thing, because I know we're getting long here, but people actually thought that Marc-Andre Fleury should have been nominated for the Vezina this year, playing about 40 games.
Did he only play 40 games?
Yeah, he didn't play a lot. Yeah,
I'm going to check that. I thought he had more than that.
It wasn't. I mean, I don't think it was enough for him to get considered. I mean, he had a good season, but I don't think it was. He played 46 games. That's not enough, right? I mean, his numbers were good.
No,
he was good, but that was a little bit ridiculous to me. I saw somebody say Antti Raanta got shafted a bit.
He had a hell of a comeback after his bad start and injury.
But those types of things always just make me laugh a bit. I mean, again, Antti Raanta played 47 games and he picked up 21 wins. And I hate quoting wins, but there's no way he would have got anywhere close to that situation. But let's wrap this up because now we're almost at an hour and a half here.
All right. Well, I want to answer one question we didn't get to.
I want to
on Twitter. Jimmy asked what we were drinking tonight. I drink a Arrogant Bastard ale, and I also drink Modern Times Fortunate Islands. So that's what got me through the game tonight. I'm not sure what you were doing, but that's what I was my drink of choice.
I feel like my answers are always going to be shitty because
If you say Bud Light Lime, I'm going to question our friendship.
No, because right now I'm like living out of like a closet essentially until I get moved. So I have like nothing in my house, and I'm also studying for an exam. So I was literally like drinking iced tea. Like just regular like Nestea iced tea because that's pretty much all I have in my house right now, and I have like no way to go get anything else. So and like the other day my answer was water, which was even worse because I was sick. So my answers right now are pretty bad. compared to yours. So I'm sorry, Jimmy.
That's all right.
That is, I know that's not the answer you're looking for, but that is, I was drinking iced tea, as boring as it is.
No big deal. We understand. You guys still have ice and ice raining from the skies in Toronto, so it's hard for you to go out and get anything as it is. But let's give a shout out to everybody again, man. Everybody who tuned in for the first time tonight. I know Diane was one of them. She said it was her first time tuning in. She loved the show. All of our regulars who've come on, Gordon Bombay, Jimmy's always here, Derek, Chase. Jacob's on here, and then Daniel's come on a bunch in this show.
Connor,
Miguel,
Drew.
just everybody.
Yeah. We can go all day because there's a bunch of you guys that are in here all the time, and there's a bunch of people in here new today. It's great. It's great to see, honestly.
It's midnight here. It's 3 a.m. where you're at. We have over 200 messages in our chat, 240. An incredible run for us. I think this is show 22. So not a bad showing for us this season. We didn't miss a game. We hit every one of them, even when I had to be late or the next day. So thanks for putting up with that, Eddie. I appreciate that. And like always, if you guys haven't already and you love us, please give us a shout out anywhere. It would be great if you could go onto iTunes and click a 5-star, click a subscribe, and help get the word out. We are trying not to go dark for the summer, so meaning that we're going to try to put some sort of content out there. We haven't decided what or how, but we want to do something to kind of keep some momentum going before next season. That way we don't fall off your guys' radar, and we'll get to you guys with that as soon as possible. But if you could leave a message for us anywhere and spread the word, that'd be great. Go to a forum, do something to get the word out for us. We'd love it. You got anything to add, buddy, before we wrap up for the season?
Yeah, last thing is, of course, with the Ducks season ending today, anybody who entered into the Forever Mighty 3 Stars leaderboard, the final one will be coming out tomorrow. I'll be announcing the winner. The winner will end up getting a jersey from Cool Hockey. Last time I checked, it was Chelshock and Cole Wish who were leading. So one of them probably, unless somebody made a dramatic comeback tonight, has won a jersey from Cool Hockey. We will also have a giveaway in May, courtesy of Cool Hockey. Not sure if it will be a jersey. It will either be that or a $50 gift card to Cool Hockey. Either way, we'll be having a giveaway. We're going to figure out how we're going to do that. It's not going to be, probably not going to be the 3 Stars leaderboard unless we decide to do that for the other games in the playoffs. We'll figure it out. Either way, we will have a giveaway from that, and I'll announce the winner for Forever Mighty 3 Stars tomorrow.
That's awesome. And hey, Neil, thanks for the shout out on there. Miguel too. Everyone's just saying they appreciate us. Ruben as well. So man, it's awesome to see the feedback, guys. And we'll be back. And we'll probably, I think we should do like a season-ending summary. Maybe we'll try to work that in here in the next couple of days, or maybe in a week or so after things settle. And we all are done being depressed and sad.
For sure, yeah, we'll have to work that in there, and probably, I mean, most of the shows again that we do later on will probably be live too. So we'll give you some kind of notice ahead of time so that you can all come out and get in the chat. I mean, it's a lot more fun to do it live and have the interaction there than to record it separately and post it up later.
All right, so and I think we answered John's question. He said, "Do you guys still do podcasts during the off season?" We will definitely have more content for that, but Eddie does the Ducks and Pucks with Mike, and I do the Puck Guys, which covers the NHL. I do that with my buddy Jason, so you guys can see us on our other shows, but definitely stay aware of Forever Mighty. We're not going to go away. We're definitely going to be doing stuff this offseason, so stay tuned on all of social media. We love you guys so much. Let's go Ducks. Let's have a nice time watching the playoffs without stress, and we'll talk to you guys soon.